9 Plus Us presents the Baseball Together podcast with your hosts, Blackjack Brad and Kansas City Little Big Briggy Blue Eyes. And now, Baseball Together.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Baseball Together podcast, Baseball Family. I am Brad, and as always, I'm joined by our guy, Brig.
What up, Baseball Family?
All right, so this week, we wanted to go through, there's a ton of current events with the first full week of the season, and we wanted to have, try something new tonight as well. We came up with a new segment. That's a tease. We'll tell you about it when we get there.
Oh, it's so exciting. Okay.
It is.
I'm very excited.
I'm excited about it. So, first things first, let's get into these current events from this week in the season. First, the Miami Marlins are trying to ruin baseball. Just flat out. No regard for anybody else, and it feels kind of par for the course for the Marlins. And I told my wife this week, this might hurt you a little bit, Brig.
I know. I know what you're going to say. I was going to say the same thing.
Derek Jeter is the Michael Jordan of owners.
I know. I was going to say. That's what I was going to say.
And not Michael Jordan as the player, Michael Jordan as the owner.
As the owner. I know.
Man.
I know.
Yeah, you got to. And I understand, like, well, you want to play the game. You want to get out there and play. It's a different circumstance this year. Okay?
That's right.
So, for anybody who doesn't know, the Miami Marlins up to, this is Friday night, July 31st at 8:25 Pacific time. Okay? We have had 20, count them, 20 Miami Marlins players and staff test positive for COVID-19.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, that, you think like, okay, quarantine the Marlins. Well, the problem with that is that last Sunday, the Marlins, via text message, got together and said, no, we'll go ahead and play.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and play. What kind of disregard do you have for your opponent?
Yeah.
The stadium staff? Because, well, was it 2 people at the Phillies stadium, like 2 staffers, tested positive for COVID-19 after the Marlins left town?
That's right. Yes.
Come on now. Like, oh my God. We'll get into a little bit more about what I think should be happening with that, but that is just absolutely insane to me. I cannot compute a team like, oh, we have like 4 guys positive. Let's go ahead and go play. Like, none of us have it.
Yeah.
Today,
Yeah. I'm here to tell you. Hold on, I'm looking it up because I am absolutely 2 things. First, I don't know what Derek Jeter's doing. I'm totally confused. I'm absolutely willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, but he better pull it out right now. I mean, something has got to give. It's been too long, and I don't want to think of him this way. So get it figured out, okay? This it's not allowed. It's not allowed to be this way. It's just not. Sure. So, and then the other thing is, I'm very inclined to wrap Rob Manfred into this scandal somehow, just because it's easy and fun. That
This is the thing with it. He went on MLB Network this week. Of course, he went on the network owned by the league and said, "This is not a nightmare scenario." What do you mean it's not a nightmare scenario? You have games that have been postponed because people are sick, and you don't know how many other people have gotten sick.
Yep.
Like, you've got the Yankees, the Phillies, the Orioles, the Marlins. That is 4 teams offhand that are affected directly by this outbreak that you've had in a clubhouse. And this is what we've talked about. This is what we talked about as the worst case scenario. We have an outbreak in a clubhouse, it spreads throughout the league, and boom, no more baseball this year. Like, that is a nightmare scenario. If this isn't a nightmare scenario, I don't know what is.
There is no other nightmare scenario. Like, what could possibly be worse than having waited this long and then giving it to us and then pulling it away? I'm very upset. Okay, you got to wonder if there's a Tony Bosch character involved at some level in Miami. I'm not accusing anybody on the record. I would not ever accuse anyone directly, but come on. this is some shady business. And
Well,
we
and so
we
what
all
it
know
is-
shady business goes on in Miami. That's all I'm
It's
saying.
true. That's what the city's built on. But the thing is that it came out like the beginning of the week, not long after this happened, that
Right.
people were like, we heard some players went out in Miami, or not in Miami, but in Atlanta, because
Yeah.
the Marlins played a couple of exhibition games against the Braves.
That's right.
And there's people were saying there were some Marlins who went out. Whether they went to Magic City to get wings, I don't know, or if they went to McDonald's. I'm not sure what the extent of them
Right.
going out, what that means, but nonetheless, they went out. Before
Yes.
the season started, we had the Angels say, as a team, they made a decision together: we will not go out
At all.
because we want to play this season. We will quarantine if we're not at the stadium. The team made the decision, and apparently the Miami Marlins were not mature enough or had the foresight to do the same thing. But that's how this whole thing went down. And then today, Friday, Major League Baseball comes out and says, well, we investigated, and it seems like there were some players who may have gone out in Atlanta. Yeah,
And there's-
everybody knows.
And
Yeah,
there's
it's
the
old
Rob
news.
there's the Rob Manfred angle. Here we go, botching another investigation and coming in with a watered down version of the truth. Like, come on, swing the hammer, man. Come on. Now listen.
And
Listen, here's the other thing is that the Atlanta Braves have handled these situations with absolute honesty, transparency, at least as far as we can tell, and they have come out and said, look, here's the problem, they're out for at least the 2-week period. And it has been awesome, but here we have the Marlins may have been the cause of that. I don't know.
Could have been. You had Nick Markakis tested positive, and it may have been because of the Marlins. Who knows?
I know. And what a shame. What a shame.
Yeah, and this is the other thing with Manfred, and I'm sure there was nothing agreed upon. That's why he can't do it. But as commissioner, he needs to throw this ball at the Players Association and say, okay, you did not obey the protocols. You need to be punished.
Right.
And yes, you're being punished because you're not playing games. You're not getting paid. But at the same time, it could be beneficial to the Marlins because if they only play 50 to 55 games this season, and then because they're not able to get all 60 in, and then Major League Baseball is like, well, you make playoffs based on your winning percentage.
That's right. That's exactly right. Because how else are they going to figure the playoffs if not everybody plays all 60?
Yeah, and so if the Marlins have less wins but a higher winning percentage than, say, maybe, I don't know, than the Mets,
Yeah.
so they get in.
Sure.
That that is not one of the big things they've said this season is upholding the competitive balance of the league, and that is not competitively balanced.
No, it's not.
So Manfred needs to punish the Marlins in some way. Say maybe you can continue to play the season as long as you fit the protocols, as long as you do what you're supposed to do. But next year, you lose a draft pick.
Yes.
Because those are a big deal, especially to the Marlins, because they kind of stockpile them when they've been tanking for a couple of years. So take away their first round pick, maybe their second round pick with it, because
maybe both. I don't know.
Yeah, because if you're not following the rules, it's obviously affecting the rest of the league, and it's not fair.
No,
It really is not fair that the fact that these players decide to play anyway, the front office and management, like the leadership in the league and within the teams needs to protect the players from themselves. These guys have been taught to play through everything. If you can stand and you can breathe at all, you're playing.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
They need to protect them from themselves, and that's what these protocols are for, but apparently they weren't stringent enough in a 113-page document. Because you've already got a situation that you don't know what to do. You've got the commissioner looking around, it's not that bad, right?
Oh my gosh, anyway, I'm going to stop there. Listen, what the thing that kills me is, and we are guilty of this occasionally as well, we worry so much about how it affects the league, how it affects the players, how it affects everything like that. But I want to talk about for a minute how it affects the fans, okay? Because here you and I are, this is our thing, this is what we do, and we are livid, okay? We're not going anywhere. We're going to stick around, but there are people who are already checked out of this season. There are fan bases, entire groups of people who do not care anymore. They're over it. They're out.
Yeah.
And if we're not careful, then, they might come back 25, 50% next season. And then if the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement, goes sideways in 2021, after 2021, then those people, we might lose them forever. And I think that the commissioner's office and the Players Association need to at least put themselves out of their own bubble for just a minute and think about us as the fans, because we're going to run into a whole new problem that we've never seen before, and it's going to come down to selfish decision making again, just with a new face and a new label. And I'm a little upset that we're seeing people in the VIP group, right, in our community, in our baseball family, that are saying, I've had it. I'm done. I don't care anymore. I'm not worried about it. I'm not paying attention. And that has this ripple effect, not only for the season and baseball and the teams but everything, right?
Yeah.
I'm upset. I feel like that angle needs to be vocalized, and I've done it, and I feel better. But
I totally agree with you that they need to take into consideration who pays them.
That's us.
There's only so much money that comes from the gate. I'll give them that. But advertisers aren't going to want to pay if eyes are not there.
Of course.
So what network is going to want to pay for baseball if nobody's watching it? Like, no, we could get a small deal with UFC for less money. Why would we pay baseball that much money? We're not going to do it.
Right.
Because people don't watch anymore because they're pretty sick of you and your childish behavior, Rob Manfred.
And you know what's coming back? You know what's coming back? Boxing.
Yeah.
Boxing with a history of corruption and a history of mob ties and a history of matches being thrown and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, boxing's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, here we go. We're going to see the tide turn if Rob Manfred and the MLBPA do not figure it out, because we are seeing a shift. I mean, we might as well be watching cricket next year. I don't know.
It might be.
I'm not saying. Listen, the jump from baseball to boxing is not like the jump from boxing to cricket. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that.
You know what it's gonna be. It's gonna be you just keep that stuff out of the closet for the KBO and just go find a way to watch KBO, because maybe ESPN will keep broadcasting it if we don't have baseball next year or something. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, there better be baseball next year. But the KBO is awesome, and we love them. So
especially the NC Dinos, still in first place.
First place.
So speaking of season in jeopardy, games in jeopardy.
Yeah.
So you had 2 positive tests with the St. Louis Cardinals, which I felt like was like out of character.
Right.
Because the Marlins or the Cardinals are such a buttoned up organization. You would think they would have extra protocols in place to keep these guys from testing positive.
I agree.
But it doesn't seem like it. So that's a game that was canceled today. But at the same time, they canceled it when they got those 2 positive tests. They said, okay, nobody's playing. We're going to stay in, and hopefully they can kind of contain it and there's not another outbreak. Because that could wipe out the entire AL/NL Central, because you already got the AL/NL East that's having issues. And if you wipe out the Central, then what do? You've only got the AL and the NL West. Maybe those guys can just keep playing their seasons.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's only a matter of time for, I don't know, any of the California teams, the D-backs, the Mariners, because those are kind of trouble areas.
They are. They are. Well, I mean, look, we all said, not me, I didn't say this. The overarching narrative was, let's keep it the same. Let's make sure that October is for the playoffs and that we do not breach much of November, if at all possible, for the World Series. And I think now with all these postponed games, how are we going to do that?
Yeah. Well, and it's, they came down with the 7-inning doubleheaders so they can get those in and not exhaust pitching.
Yeah,
and so you can get them all in, and also with travel and everything like that. But at the same time, at what point are you going to be like, we can only play so many doubleheaders?
Right. We got to limit those.
5. We can't play 10 games in 5 days.
And now we start adding a second asterisk to this season, because the first one says 60 games. We got it. But the second one is going to say, well, and by the way, and it becomes further qualified. And that's the last thing we want. It's the last thing baseball needs. And so, I saw a headline today. Again, it was all extrapolation, and it was, I don't know, but opinion. It was all it was. But it was saying that the season might actually get canceled partway through if too many of these instances continue to crop up, and there's no way to stem the flow. I can't imagine how bad that would affect the fan base. And I think that those of you listening, those of you watching, tell us what you think. Do you agree if the season got canceled right now, or let's say 10 days from now, because all of these outbreaks of COVID are affecting players' abilities to take the field, to do so responsibly, with all of the consciousness that they have about their bodies and their families and everything like that, social responsibility on top of it. We want to know what you think about how would that affect you as a fan base. That's what I want to know.
And going back to that headline, it wasn't just opinion. Rob Manfred told the MLBPA, he said, basically, get it together and follow the rules, or I will cancel the season.
Yeah.
But like I said before, is that can't be the only punishment. You can't punish everybody because you've got one team out there running rampant, infecting everybody, or you've got a couple of teams that have a couple accidental exposures. Like you've got to figure out a way, besides guys not playing and teams not playing well, because that's the thing, is the Marlins are out there basically on the street. Can you play baseball? Do you know how to hit a ball? Could you hit big league pitching? Come play for us. So that is part of the punishment for the Marlins, but at the same time, that's kind of what they do anyway, because they're trying to get those draft picks, like I said. So if you take those away or you punish the team some way, there is more incentive to not have the rest of your taxi squad or the rest of your 60-man pool on the field, because, if you're out there, like I said, breaking the rules, then it's an issue. And Manfred canceling the season, not everybody's really going to care, to be honest.
Not only are they not going to care, the players and the owners and coaches and everything like that, coaching staff, but we, the fan base, will care, and that's the point I keep trying to make. I feel like there are 3 kids in the back seat of this car, and Rob Manfred is driving, and somebody in the back is being a degen, and it's probably the kid in the middle, and they're pissing.
They're bitter about their feet on the hump. Let's be honest.
Their feet on the hump, right? And they're making everybody else mad on that bench seat in the back. And so what Rob Manfred's going to do is, just without even looking, he's going to reach back and he's going to go boom, 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 and he's going to hit all of them right on the thigh as hard as he can, just smack, smack, smack. Now, and he's going to say, everybody's going to cry. We're all going to cry. And we're all going to say, why did you do that? Well, because I didn't know which one of you was wrong, so I decided to make sure I got the right one. I hit all 3 of you. That's how this feels.
See, my thought, and see, I was following you at first, but I was like, I see where he's going with this. And then he kind of took a left turn there. And it makes sense. It makes sense. But what I was thinking was, he's just driving. And today saying, I'll cancel the season if you can't obey the protocols, that is, I will turn this car around. That's what that.
Now, yeah, you're right. Maybe it's better if he just beats all 3 of us, right? The owners, the players, and the fans, and he says, "Sure, pull it together, or I've had it."
Yeah.
I didn't know which one of you to punish.
I'd rather take a little bit of a beating than have the car turned around.
I would too. Well, so pull the curtain back. That's how I was raised. My dad just reached back, and he would. I didn't know which one of you was wrong. So you bet your butt I got the right one. Got all of us, but the culprit was caught effective. For sure.
Seems effective.
And guess what? The rest of us never made that mistake again. I promise you that.
I'm sure.
It was an insurance policy for the future.
Yeah, I believe it.
Good parenting.
Well, hey, let's go ahead and take a quick break. And when we get back, we're going to talk about some more current events, talk about some things that went on this week that were a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And, we'll talk about that when we get back.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back with me. Root, root, root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Shop kids' baseball shirts at 9plusS.com.
Welcome back, baseball family. We're going to jump into just more current events because what else do you want to hear about? And what else is there to talk about? Let's be honest. Joe Kelly is not the hero we expected, but I think he's the hero we all needed.
Yeah.
And we probably don't deserve him.
No.
But we're really glad he's here.
We sure are.
Except he's not here anymore because he has been suspended for an 8-game period of time for what? Now, see, here's where we go with the ambiguity. Did he or did he not throw intentionally at the Houston Astros?
So he is suspended for throwing near their heads. Now, I'll give him this 3-0 pitch. He threw at Bregman's head. And Bregman has said on the record, the thing I love about baseball is that it polices itself. You know,
it does. Well, if you follow the unwritten rules, it does.
So he got out of the way. He had no issue. He said, okay, I've had that coming.
Got it.
Thank you, Joe Kelly, for not actually hitting me. You know, that was all. He said it with
the face.
He said it with his eyes.
Yeah.
He said it with his eyes. So Bregman goes down, takes first base, and then you've got Carlos Correa, who has been yapping at everybody for a long time now as well. And,
he
and
has.
Joe Kelly threw it was in the mid 80s, threw a ball over his head, and to me it looked like a curveball that didn't curve or breaking ball that didn't break.
Breaking ball that didn't break.
You know, his off-speed
right.
pitch. If you're gonna hit somebody, you're gonna throw some cheese at him. And I feel like
throw some cheese. Give him the high stinky Limburger.
So
yes.
So then he goes back. Joe Kelly, who's effectively wild anyway. For those of you who don't know what effectively
really
wild is, it means that you miss the plate just enough that guys don't know when to expect strikes from you, so you strike them out. So that's Joe Kelly.
Part of Joe Kelly's short arm magic.
Yeah, exactly. And so he comes back, and Correa kind of fans at it and strikes out. And Joe Kelly, as he's walking away, says, "Nice swing, B."
And he sticks his bottom lip out.
Yeah, he made some faces at him and said some choice words to him. It was fantastic, and it was what we all wanted to see. And, you know, I wasn't expecting the Mariners to do anything because I know they're all upset because they've been dealing with the cheating for a long time. But the Mariners need every stinking out they can get to even compete with the Astros. Yeah. So I wasn't expecting anything in that series. I was expecting it with the Dodgers, which, by the way, is a series we were not going to get this year. But this has been one gift that we have been given by COVID-19 is that the Astros and Dodgers will play several times this year. And I hope bench is clear again because I hope more guys are thrown out because it's not over. Yeah. It's not over.
Now, look, we're going to officially, and Brad, I'm going to speak for you here.
Okay.
Without prior consent. We are going to officially endorse this. Mm-hmm. And we're so sorry, but not sorry. And that's it.
Yeah, because that's my thing is I am not one for throwing baseballs at somebody to solve your problems. But in this case, you've earned it. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And guess what? If Rob Manfred was anywhere in the vicinity, he'd probably throw one over there, too.
For sure. Yeah.
Just saying, he helped with the earned it.
Well, he did. Well, especially since he told teams, he's like, I'm not going to put up with anybody throwing at the Astros so they don't get any punishment. And that's the big thing here, too, is that Joe Kelly has been handed a suspension larger than what all of the Astros players have been given combined.
Not just larger than all the Astros players, but larger than at least as far as I'm aware, of the last handful of years suspensions for a middle reliever. Honestly.
Well,
This is
because he got 6 games, I think, last year for throwing at somebody, and that's why I think Manfred went for 8.
Yeah, but listen, 6 games in a 162 season is different than 8 games in a 60-game season.
Exactly, because that is exactly 21.6. It would be if he was suspended for 21.6 games. You could round it up to 22. That's 3 weeks of baseball.
That's 3 weeks.
Nobody
of
gets
baseball.
suspended for 3 weeks except for PEDs.
Right.
Outrageous.
That's exactly right.
Outrageous.
It's outrageous. It's yeah.
And he is obviously appealing because they appeal every suspension.
Of course.
Just about.
Of course. He should.
And if Rob Manfred has any kind of integrity at all,
oh please,
he will cut it down to 1 or 2.
Bring that up.
Oh, I'm saying any, which it's questionable, but we'll see what happens. It's questionable.
We have reasonable suspicion to doubt that he contains any.
It's true. We definitely have a reasonable doubt, but I do
reasonable
think
suspicion.
Reasonable suspicion. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want to get into a situation where we're in trouble. Yeah, probable cause is the next level. And we're not there yet. That's okay. It's fine.
But, yeah, no, I do think it'll be cut down. He'll probably get 1 or 2 games, especially for a middle reliever. If he was a starter, 8 games wouldn't be that big of a deal because that's 2 starts. Big deal. Or 1 start.
Yeah,
big deal.
Yeah, it's different.
But the fact that he's a middle reliever, he comes on probably 4 days a week.
Yeah.
So
minimum 3.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a big deal for a middle reliever to get 8 games.
Yeah, I agree.
But man, so on this vein though, like we talked about how, so we talked about how none of the Astros were suspended. Okay, and I want to get into this what Jim Crane said real quick. He made a point again this week to say it was Rob Manfred's decision not to suspend any of my players, not mine. Okay, well, how about this? It was Rob Manfred's decision to suspend your former GM and former manager for a year, but it was your decision to fire them. So if Rob Manfred made the decision not to suspend them, how about you take the initiative and you make the decision to suspend your players for a certain amount of time for conduct detrimental to the team?
Conduct unbecoming.
Either way, whatever it is.
Or whatever.
Like, okay, Rob Manfred didn't suspend them because until this week he couldn't. Okay,
that's right.
On the other hand, there was no rule that said that an owner or a GM could not suspend his players. And Jim Crane very well, like he should have, even if he sat them down for a game because he said this is not what my team is about. He is full on condoning it by saying, "Oh, it didn't help us win a World Series." Oh, by the way, I didn't say that. Like he's condoning their actions, and then he's firing his GM and his manager because they're the fall guys for it.
Yes.
Like, in my opinion, Jim Crane has made himself as much of a culprit in this entire act as anybody else has been, because he's basically condoning it.
That's right. Well, and we were on the fence with where he sat. I remember when the first scandal, rumors broke, we were thinking, okay, he's the owner. He's removed. Obviously, most owners, this is their toy. It's fine.
Yeah.
But these actions, these statements have indicated, like you said, his culpability is almost undeniable at this point.
Culpability, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, well, that's...
But for sure though.
Just ridiculous. It's like now we really are. We knew we were dealing with a systemic problem all the way down to the minor leagues and them tweaking the TrackMan systems to influence and incentivize trade value and things like that on the minor league level. But now we're seeing it going all the way to the top, and I feel like we had reasonable suspicion, and now we're starting to get into probable cause mode. And that is so disconcerting.
Yep.
Just like, I ache for it.
It really is. Yeah. So let's talk about the Astros for like one more minute.
Right, because this is what I wanted to bring up. So we're watching. This is the best. We're watching. Was the Dodgers, right?
Uh-huh.
We're watching the Dodgers play the Astros, and one of the Dodgers or Astros announcers.
It was Dodgers. It was Oral Hershiser who said it.
That's right, Oral. Oral says, guessing is harder than knowing when Altuve strikes out. He says that. He's like, I guess he was one of his color commentator said something like, I think it was, guess he was guessing fastball.
Mm-hmm.
Must have been guessing fastball.
Yeah.
It was a breaking ball or whatever. It was an off-speed pitch. And he said, well, guessing harder than knowing. And I was like, whoa.
Well, and I texted you about that opening night. So the Mariners opened up against the Astros, and Marco Gonzalez opened for the Mariners. And so the first three batters you had, you had Springer, Altuve, and Bregman were the first three batters. There were two swings between the three batters. Altuve, so Springer did not swing until he had a full count. He struck out. Altuve did not take the bat off his shoulder, and then Bregman, right. I want to say on a 1-0 count, flew out to right field. But the fact that those guys weren't swinging, it's like, oh yeah, they've been cheating. They've definitely been cheating. Because Marco Gonzalez is a guy that they know, and if it takes knowing what is coming to be able to hit a guy you see that much, you know what you've been cheating for sure.
Yep.
Definitely.
So let me go on the record and officially say that I think Bregman is probably the most talented in that group. Organically, in and of himself, no assistance. I think he is the best candidate for redemption that we have in that whole crew. Just saying. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
So I like his fire and I like all that other stuff about him. But, guessing's harder than knowing. I just about died when I know that was too funny. It was so good. And I love, this goes back to the last conversation we had about radio versus TV, because this is the kind of thing you would hear traditionally in a radio broadcast. You'd hear these sidewall or these off the wall comments coming from left field and be like, well, you know what I'm saying? I love it. I think that's the right answer. I think that helps you connect with the fans. That's what we want to hear. We want you to know, or we want to know that you are thinking the way we are thinking, and that's just good business overall, especially in the entertainment sector and with broadcast journalism specifically. We want to know that what we are thinking, what we are questioning, what we're wondering, you have answers for. You're thinking the same thing. You're one step ahead of us. That's good broadcast journalism. And so this was an instance of that, and it made me very happy for lots of reasons.
Well, and you know how you know it was on TV, right?
Yeah.
Because Oral Hershiser said it. The man is far too handsome to be stuck on radio.
Right. No,
he's got to be on TV. So
yeah. But, no, I know, but I'm just making the larger point about broadcast in general. This is what we want to see. So go figure it out. That's what I'm saying.
Figure it out. That's right. Grab a puppers. So before we go to take our one more break, let's talk about Shane Bieber for a minute. I feel like we're saving the best for last because this dude's been lights out. And anybody who's followed the Indians at all over the last year know that this dude's legit. I like to say he's a legit pickle. He's the real deal.
He's the real deal.
He's good, man.
Yes.
So he had 27 strikeouts through his first two starts, and didn't give up any runs. That tied a record. But man, it's
amazing,
especially in today's game where starting pitchers go 5-6 innings.
Yeah, man. 4 sometimes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But I mean, I think the standard is 5. You get to 6, we're pretty happy. You get to 7, it's an astronomical feat of strength.
Yeah. And if you're going complete game, you're out of this world.
Yeah.
Beyond astronomical.
No doubt.
Astronomical.
That's old school.
I can't say it. But
anyway.
Congratulations, Shane Bieber. Congratulations to Cleveland fans because you've got yourself an ace for years to come.
You got it, man.
Because it's
very exciting.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let's go take one more break, and when we get back, we're going to do a new segment, and that's Tease.
Very exciting.
No matter which ballpark you're at, you want to rep your team. Now you can with 9+Us. Welcome to the Big City Series. With every design available in your team's colors, you can fit in with the home crowd or stand out on the road. Either way, we have the colors you crave. Shop the Big City Series and find designs that rep your favorite baseball podcast, cheer from the cheap seats, and much more. Shop the Big City Series only at 9plusus.com.
Welcome back, baseball family, to our final segment of this week's episode. So we wanted to try something new this week. Baseball is back. As we know, we've been celebrating. So I thought what we would do is we would do a little bit of live reaction to highlights from the week. Most of it this week is pretty much today, because I'll be honest with you, I came up with this segment as Brig and I were talking before we came on. A little peek behind the curtain.
Why would you do that? It's true though. It's fine. It's
very true. Yeah, we were talking. I was like, you know what we should do? And so we're gonna do it. We're gonna give it a try this week. If it doesn't go well, then we won't do it again. If it does, we'll probably try it again another week.
Thank you for being here with us while we attempt something new.
Exactly. So here we go, Brig.
Yeah.
Can you click the link for me? Called Mookie with a Hose.
Okay. Now listen.
Click the link.
Caveat this: we didn't get to watch all of baseball. We don't get to see every game that happens. So I'm watching. Yeah. I'm watching. Here he goes.
So that's Ketel Marte.
Marte's here. Yep. Going to third.
Yep, the Diamondbacks. Hits the ball down the right field line.
Holy crap!
Mookie Fields in the corner. Marte around second. Got him.
Holy cow. I'm watching it again.
Holy smokes.
He just slapped
it's
at
amazing.
that. It stays in play. And here goes Mookie Betts off to the... Oh, my gosh. He's rounding second. He gets to third. He doesn't even get it. He's 12, 15 feet from third base.
Oh, and not only that, it was a strike.
Oh,
it might have been a little bit outside, but that was a strike.
Oh, my gosh.
My goodness. I think he painted the black on it. And when you go back to the beginning, look at what happened to Marte's bat. Did you see what happened to Marte's bat?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's splintered.
Yeah.
You don't see that often. I think it's pretty cool when the bat breaks that way.
It is.
But
that's because he had to kind of reach for it and slap at it a little bit.
Yeah, that's exactly it. He slapped at it. He didn't have a full swing, hit it off the end of the bat. And it's those bats. I actually learned this a couple days ago. I was watching a Mariners game because Kyle Seager broke a bat that way. They said that if you have the cup on the end of your bat and you hit the ball at the end of the bat, that's why that happens.
Oh, okay.
So that's why you don't see it often, because not everybody has that cup.
Now listen,
on the end of their bat.
Listen, if this was not Mookie Betts, that hack, that slap at it hit goes for a triple. Honestly.
Yeah, most guys in the league it does. Absolutely.
Which is so cool, because that goes to show you how good a player Marte is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is. He's probably the best player on that team.
Yeah, overall, most athletic. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, definitely. But with Mookie Betts combining his speed to get to the ball and then also his arm, that's a heck of a play.
Oh
man.
yeah.
Most guys are safe on that triple.
No, he read that perfectly in not his home field. It was that was amazing.
Well played ball. Okay. Let's go to Nolan Arenado making plays.
Okay.
Here we go.
Are we clicking at the same time this time? I feel like
Ready, set. Oh, did you already click it?
No. I'm ready.
These
waiting.
are the things we need to work out. Okay, ready, set,
go.
Play.
Okay. Oh.
All right, so you got the Rockies and the Padres. This was tonight.
Yeah.
Chopper to third base. Arenado, bare hand. Got him by like a half a step.
Okay, bare hand. I'm that far behind. Whoa, man!
Spoilers.
Okay, I love hot corner plays like this. I love seeing these arms on display.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but I don't love it as much as the Brown in San Diego. I'm be honest with you.
Yeah, it's so good. I actually watched a Padres game the other night just so I could see the brown pinstripes.
Yep.
And it looks so good. It wasn't even half a step.
No, it wasn't.
It was like
an eighth of a step.
His foot was hovering over the bag when it got into the first baseman glove.
No, that's tremendous, man. That's so good.
And if you're looking for a reason to watch the Rockies, you've got it right there with Nolan Arenado, because he's making plays like that all the time.
Well, he's not alone either, but yes, he's a great reason to watch the Rockies.
For sure.
That's awesome.
For sure.
Ooh.
All right, let's go down to this Aaron Judge play.
Oh, yeah.
This is my first time watching it. Brig picked this one. He told me about it. I have not seen it yet.
Okay, I'm pulling it up right now.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
And We'll hit click.
All right.
Click play. You
Wait,
ready?
1,
3,
2, 3, go.
go. Okay. Is that Garrett Cole pitching? Looks like.
Here he goes. Judge
Short fly
catches
ball
it.
to right field.
Yeah. No.
Oh my
So
gosh.
good.
Kids, that's why you slide into
That's right.
first base. That's why you slide
Well, that's
into
why
bases
you
right
tag
there.
up on a fly ball.
Well, you tag up on a short fly ball, yeah.
Look
but
at this.
But at the same time, if it's not first base, that's why you got to slide, because he had to let up on his last step or two in order to not go like step beyond the bag. He wasn't even halfway on that play.
Was perfect, man. It's absolutely perfect.
Yeah, that's a great play by Judge. Heads up,
a 9-3 double play, and you can't beat it. That's look at him.
Sure.
He's 6'8" or whatever. He takes 3 steps, and he's from halfway through right field to the clay. 3-4 steps, maybe 4. Okay, so it's 4 steps.
He's just so stinking
huge.
big. It's
and
unreal.
his arm is like a freaking ICBM.
He's like a cannon.
Yeah, it's a problem. Why would you run on him? Why would you ever question it? I don't know. I think it's stupid, but it's fine. I'm also a Yankees fan, so bear with me.
It's true. Okay. Absolutely true. All right, let's go to this last one real quick called Brian Goodwin double.
Okay.
So I actually watched this game live because it's the Mariners and the Angels, and we don't miss that series in our house because, like I said last week, my wife is an Angels fan. I'm a Mariners fan, so we always watch them when they come on. So Brian Goodwin comes up here, and are you ready? Got to load it up?
Yeah, I got it loaded up. Tell me when.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1, go.
Right.
So he's up
And the
here,
pitch.
and you've got
There it goes.
you got a line drive into deep right center field with the bases freaking loaded. It was a 6-5 game. Man, throws just barely late to home. He clears the bases on a double to right center field. And, man, I was like, no, of course it's happening. It's happening. The Mariners are going to lose this game. But they went on and won.
Did they
that
really?
Game. That was from, they won 10-7 in that game.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, the Mariners beat up on the Angels a little bit. They finally figured out how to hit. Came in and
it took them till the 8th or 9th inning or what?
yeah, they scored a bunch of runs late against the Angels. The Angels bullpen, by the way, is not good.
Oh, that's good to know. Thank you for
that they're going to give up some runs late in games. My buddy, actually Quinn, who's been on the podcast a couple times, he texted me during the game. He's like, "It's the battle of the bad bullpens." It sure is.
Seattle doesn't have a great bullpen either.
No, not at all, not at all. But luckily they hit late.
Okay,
so,
can we first?
Yeah, if you want to watch offense,
if you pause it at about 1 second into this video, you'll see that there's all this. What looks like Japanese characters in the background, and
runners
I'm
up for a second.
really excited to understand what that means. So maybe we can do some background information and figure that out because I've never seen that before. Have you?
Yeah, no, it makes sense though because if it is Japanese, you got Ohtani, who is like the face of the franchise now,
which is impossible with Mike Trout.
Mike Trout.
There you go.
Yeah. But he's the number 2
sure.
guy. This is my number 2 man, number two. But yeah, the number 2 guy behind Mike Trout.
You know what
sure.
the Angels need is sharks with lasers.
Freaking laser beams on their foreheads.
Yes.
Throw me a freaking bone here,
I'm
people.
The boss. Oh man. It is so good being as old as we are. I don't know.
Most days.
Yeah, you're right.
Days.
Some days it's terrible.
But so those are the 4 highlights we're going to do this week. We have them overlaid over the video so you can watch them. If you want to go over on YouTube, watch that segment. But also we pulled those off Twitter. I'll include the link to the tweets in the doobly-doo for the audio version for those of you who don't watch on YouTube. But that's a little extra thing so you can actually just watch it as part of the video while we react to it live. Not looking at the camera because my computer screen is directly below the camera. But anywho.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not looking at the camera either. I'm looking to my left here.
Yeah. But Brig, before we close things up here, I wanted to know, in the opening week of baseball, what was the best thing you saw this week?
I have 2. Is that fair?
Okay. That's fair. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so the Braves at home playing the Mets, Travis d'Arnaud hits a blooper into right center field with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 8th, and there are 2 outs, and they score 3 runs and go on to win the game. That's number 1, right? That is putting the ball in play with cardboard cutouts in the seats. You cannot beat that level of small ball. And I was very excited to see it. It is the definition of clutch and small ball, and that's what I like. The other thing I will say, again, a bit of homerism here. I got it, but Susan Waldman of the Yankees broadcast team, the radio broadcast team, sang I think it was God Bless America this week, and I was like beyond impressed.
Yeah, I saw that she did it. I haven't watched the video yet. I'll have to get on and check it out. But yeah, I did see that she did that. That's super cool.
She stood up in there in the radio broadcast booth, and microphone, camera on her, and everything. And I don't understand what it is about people in that level of professional sphere, right? That where they're the best. They're the best at what they do. It's the same with actors and actresses who can sing and dance, and they can do anything. And I didn't see this coming from Susan Waldman. I don't know why I didn't. But I mean, here she goes.
Because you think she's so snotty.
She is snotty. She is snotty, and I love that about her. But then she has this very above capable, way beyond capable singing voice, and I was like, wow. I don't know. Maybe it's been on display in the past and I've missed it, but this time I paid attention, I caught it, and I am so glad because just bravo, Susan.
They should have her sing ads in the middle of the game.
She's literally more impressive every time I interact with her and I listen to her broadcasts. I just think the world of Susan. I think she's the coolest. So those are the 2 best things I've seen this whole week in baseball. What about you, Brad? What about you?
Very cool. So mine is homerism.
Yeah, that's okay.
Flat out.
That's
I'm gonna be honest with you.
That's allowed here.
So my Mariners kind of laid an egg that first series.
Yeah.
They came out against the Astros 1-3. They scored a total of 18 runs in those first 4 games. They got 1 win out of the deal, but in the 4 games against the Astros, and then they dropped the first one. The Angels scored 18 total runs in those 5 games. Then they had the Angels 2 nights. Let's see, that would have been Wednesday, Thursday this week.
Yeah.
And they scored 18 runs between those 2 games, won both of them. And then tonight, Brig, as you were talking, went final 5-3 against the Athletics.
Yes.
And the Mariners, gosh darn it, my Mariners are 500 team. 4-4.
Oh, yes.
Other than last year, I don't know when I could say that happened last.
Listen, what did I tell you?
In the mix.
Oh,
in the
mix.
500, the end of July. Yes.
8 games in.
Take it.
Listen, I told you in my predictions that the Mariners are going to make the wild card this season, and if nothing else, they'll get that far. I'm just saying.
Favorable schedule. Looking like a favorable schedule for them.
That's not been favorable on paper, but the way it's happening is favorable, and that's interesting. So
I think that we were talking a little bit ago about, before we came on with this segment, about the Mariners, how they're so young. They had 3 guys making major league debuts in the first 2 games. And it might just be one of those things where they're too young to know better that they're supposed to lose, because they've got talent. They've definitely got talent. So if they just come out we're just playing baseball, just having fun playing the game, and they go out and they win a bunch of games, that'd be awesome.
Perfect.
So I'll take it. I'll take it.
For sure.
I'll take a win however it comes.
No doubt.
But so Brig, do you want to wrap us up?
Yeah, I'll start I'll do part of it anyway. So listen, baseball family, jump on the shop at 9plusus.com, NINEPLUSUS.com. We've got baseball apparel by the fans, for the fans, hats, T-shirts, etc. I'm wearing my baseball things hat right now in cream and black with the black visor, green under visor, snapbacks every time. We do have flex fits in most of our hat options as well, and I think those are really compelling as well for a segment of the population. I'm wearing my Pinstripe Pride navy blue t-shirt tonight. We have a hashtag t-shirt series for most of the teams in the league as well, and jump on there. We're running discounts very soon. Actually, we have a poll going it's tournament of polls pitting our designs against themselves, against each other. And when we get to the quarterfinals, semifinals, and the finals, we will have tiered and structured discounts available for those. So if you're not a member of the VIP family on Facebook at the 9+Us VIP group, you really got to jump on there and request access. We keep it really, really tight-knit and really closed. But that's actually to your benefit. So jump on there and request access. We'll add you, and I think you'll really enjoy the culture we have going on there. So, and that's where you get all the discounts
for sure,
and a lot of things like that, early access stuff.
Yeah, early releases. Yep, for sure. Yeah, but baseball family, don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. We want to thank you guys real quick. We had our biggest month. July was our biggest month in the year plus that we've been doing this podcast. We want to thank you guys so much for a big month. We want to keep it up. We don't want it to spike. We want to be able to keep growing the podcast. And if you, like we said, if you guys like, subscribe, rate, and review everything, it makes it easier for us to keep doing that. And baseball family, it's been fun. Thanks for enjoying a new segment with us, and we will catch you next week.